Okay, so this is my Shelly relay project in my garage, and it starts out simple and gets a wee bit complicated. So initially, I bought one of these relays to integrate the ability to control my garage door opener with my phone. And it works great. And basically what it does is it has two contacts that close, which simulate a hard button push, which is usually hardwired from a garage door up in the ceiling and then down in the wall right where you walk in a garage. However, this house had no such wiring in it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But that wasn't good enough. I wanted to be able to control it by the phone. So it works really, really well. And it's even got the ability to set up a widget, so you don't even have to go into the app once you set it up, and you just press on the widget. And I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so top left, one down from the top, it says G1 for garage 1. I press on that. And you can hear the garage door opening in the background. And in fact, you can see that the garage door has in fact opened. Now, as I said earlier, I don't have buttons on the wall. The wiring isn't built into the house that runs to the garage door opener. So I had to do this creatively. Well, you can have one of these Shelly relays talk to another Shelly relay over the internet, or I should say really over your Wi-Fi. Now this orange one is a 4-channel Shelly that only has 4 inputs. It actually doesn't have any relay contacts itself, and its purpose is for you to use push buttons like these or any other kind of switch to generate signals and control other relays on your network. And I have this blue one here, which is for my my fluorescent lights. So all I do is press, and it's off, and one press and it's on, and one press and it's off. I set that up. Now that one is set where this actually goes directly to the switch terminal of the relay, and it's programmed to just change whatever state it's in on a button push. So if it's off, it goes on. If it's on, it goes off. Very, very simple. That one is not controlled by this orange one. Now this orange one does control the garage door opener that you just saw, and it's right here, the button. Okay, now of course this is going to mount like this, but I have it set up so that you actually have to do what's called a long press to actuate it. 1 and 2, and there goes the garage door. All right. Now I did the long press for 2 reasons. Number 1, to discourage accidental presses, and number 2, as you can see on this garage door opener, which is a far more complex project that I did, because that garage door opener, the motherboard was completely fried. And I basically resurrected a 30-year-old garage door opener, which otherwise would work great, with 2 Shelly relays, one dedicated for closing and the other dedicated for opening. And this orange relay will send signals to both. Now the way I programmed it, long press up goes open, long press down goes down, but a short press will interrupt it. And that's the beauty of the differentiation between the long press and the short press. So here's a long press. And now here's a short press. See how it just stopped? Okay, now I can continue opening with a long press. There's a short press, which stopped it. Or I can just go ahead and long press close it. Okay, now you might be asking yourself, well, how do the relays know when to stop engaging the motor? And I'll explain that to you. So that is the original travel limiting mechanism that came with the garage door opener. So in addition to the motor and the chassis, and of course the track and chain, the salvage, the thing I salvaged was also that travel mechanism. By the way, this is the original motherboard that came with it, and you can see it's got a lot of circuitry. It's got a few relays. Also, those were the screws that limited the travel mechanism, I think. But right there, you see that little burn? That little one burn ruined the whole motherboard. So I didn't want to replace the motherboard, and that's why I did this whole project. Okay, so when the garage door opens and closes, the part with the gray wire, by nature of this center worm screw, if you want to call it that, which is rotated there by the motor, it actually moves. And when it, as you can see there, it's currently hitting the contact for the yellow wire, which is which goes to the closing relay, which is that one, and it goes to that one terminal there, SW, which is the switch. So I have scripts dedicated to these relays. One of the functions is when that switch goes hot, immediately shut the relay off. And the script actually checks for the state of that terminal every 1/10 of a second, every 100 milliseconds. It cycles check, 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 check. And as soon as it goes hot, boom, it stops it. And same thing here, when the garage door opens, then the travel mechanism will go that way. And if you want a little quick demonstration, I'll show you. Okay, so you see how it's moving, 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 moving. And then as soon as it hits that contact, it stops just before it hits that bolt. And of course, these screws are adjustable. So it took just a little bit of tinkering to get it just right, but now it works just right. So that is part of the scripting, but the scripting is far more complicated than that. The other thing that the script does is it takes approximately 13 seconds for the full travel of the opener, either open or closed. I have a 15-second safeguard limiter. So as soon as the script runs, if anything were to go wrong, it will shut off after 15 seconds, so it won't put an undue strain on the motor. The other thing I have set up is that when you hit either the open or the closed script, the first thing it does is it shuts off the other relay if in fact it were moving. So if you were in the middle of it closing and you suddenly hit the open, either the hard button switch on the wall or the soft switch on your phone that controls it, it will immediately shut the other relay off and go in the opposite direction. See, the way these motors work, those red and blue wires each represent open and close. So what you don't want is you don't want to make both of those hot simultaneously. The motor makes a very weird noise, so you don't want that. And that script is designed to protect against that happening. And I also have a stop script. As I mentioned, the long press actuates either the opening or closing, depending if you hit the upper part of the rocker switch or the lower part of the rocker switch. But if you do a short press in either direction, it immediately shuts everything off. And I have a separate script dedicated just for that. I mean, there's a few more complexities in the script than that, but that's basically it. Now, I will concede that a safety feature that I have given up on this garage door opener is if you look down there, that's one half, and there is the other half. That is the light beam, which if there's something interrupting that light path, the old garage door opener, wouldn't work for, obvious safety reasons. And yes, I have lost that ability. I cannot salvage the old beams because the way they work, they send a very complex digital signal to the motherboard. It's not a simple on or off scenario. Now, I did look on Amazon, and for somewhere around $25, I could get a more generic universal light beam set, which would generate, an on or an off if the beam is interrupted. And I don't know that I could incorporate that into my two existing relays. I would probably have to get a third Shelly relay, which the two relays would be then scripted to look at the state of that relay to determine whether or not they could operate. So it is something I could add on, but have not done so as of yet. Now, this little guy, oh, by the way, this is what the wall switch now looks like, fully screwed in instead of being locked out. So, it came out pretty good. This little guy here is a Wi-Fi. It operates under many different modes as a router, a repeater. I have that set as a repeater for the Wi-Fi signal, which is buried in my house. So depending on the size of your house, you may or may not need one, but I decided I wanted to dedicate a Wi-Fi access point so that the relays would stay constantly connected. My Wi-Fi router, the base one, is a little bit far away from my garage. And I noticed that my connectivity with my relays was 70% reliable. And I decided, this is really, really an inexpensive unit. I got it years ago for less than $20. I can't even imagine how cheap they must be now. And it works great. It works great as an access point.